What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section as I'm always intrigued to know what you all got to say about these topics. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm switching it up a little bit. This isn't within the basketball, the top five sports and also the boxing that I cover. But I, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, went to college in Texas, lived in Texas for some time after I left college. And now I live in the beautiful state of Idaho. And I'm about maybe 25 minutes away from the beautiful campus of Boise State University. So when I go out in the morning, do my morning jog, I usually stop by the gas station by my house and pick up a newspaper to read several things just to see what's going on in the community, as I'm a youth sports administrator as well. So I just kind of look at, things that's going on in the world, especially in my community. But I always stop by the sports section, read up on the Boise State Broncos, as they have been doing their thing this year. I've been meaning to give them a little bit more love and coverage on my platform, but it's just been one thing after the other. We have so many things going on in sports right now. But one thing that I think will be lost in the sauce that needs to be acknowledged is the Boise State ladies volleyball team have taken a very, very admirable stand versus this whole, and excuse my language, I don't even really know how to navigate this stuff, but the trans athletes, that this whole movement that's going on with that. And I've expressed my views on it. And if I could just touch on it one more time, my thing is that I have daughters. All right. Before I had my daughters, I will admit, I didn't really have an opinion about it left or right because I didn't understand it, and before I had my daughters, it was about the time that I had my first daughter that this stuff started really ramping up. And so I started paying attention to it. Before, you would just hear about a situation here, a situation there, people will, be outraged by it and we'll move on. But my oldest daughter is now 2.5 years old. And in that time, ladies and gentlemen, the landscape of women's sports has changed dramatically. As now it is, and right, like I said, right under my nose, now it has become commonplace for men who identify as women to compete in women's sports. And the powers that be, a lot of these governors and senators and all that kind of stuff, I hate politics, You've been rocking with me, that. But all of these guys have been endorsing this movement. They've been putting things in legislation, defending these trans athletes. And it's just become a whole different wave in itself. And it's to the point where I truly, truly feel bad for women, and as far as not having a space where they can be protected and also competitive. It's just like, man, sports is just a microcosm of life. So, you always want to, if you're an athlete, you just want to compete and show that you're the best of the best. But you can't do that when the playing field is against you. And so, again, the Boise State volleyball ladies team has elected to forfeit a game versus the San Jose State University ladies volleyball team because the San Jose volleyball team boasts a trans athlete on their team. And this is where it all gets nasty to me, because there's been a bit of outrage, but only, from the San Jose side of it, as Boise, Idaho Idaho, period. They align a little bit more with my views. It's not perfect, but I definitely having I definitely can endorse the lifestyle and the political climate out here. As this, hold on, the governor, who was it, or the mayor of this town? Senator. Let me look at this gentleman's name. Oh no, Senator Reich. Or no, is it Governor Little? Let me figure out who this person is. Brad Little, who I believe is the governor of Boise, Idaho. Don't get me twisted. I don't even know how these. I know some stuff about politics, but I'll be 100. I don't know exactly how these guys weigh in and their power. But the governor of Boise, Idaho, applauded the women, the ladies volleyball team of Boise State, for electing to forfeit this game, as he has signed things in legislation himself to protect women in women's sports. And it's under this particular law that Governor Little has put out there that that has granted the Boise State ladies volleyball team full, what do you call it, immunity from any consequences from these crazy people, and it has given them the opportunity to forfeit. There was also another school, I can't recall, but they forfeited against San Jose State University as well. Because this situation is just out of hand, man. And I don't really understand the line of thinking where you can make sense of a woman being, where you can make sense of a man competing against a woman on an athletic level. I don't understand that line of thinking. I will concede. But as an athlete myself, as a guy that has been competing and coaching all of his life. I'm 36 years old now. I do more coaching than competing, but I'll still get out there in the rec league from time to time. And what I've always been accustomed to is men competing against men and women competing against women. There are intramural, co-sex leagues, all that kind of stuff. But as far as the status quo, it's always been the men versus men and the women's versus women. And when there was overlap, it wasn't because a man was trying to emulate a woman in any degree. It would just be a happenstance, a man and a woman competing in the same sport. But again, I just really have a heart for women, and it's not enough that they got to go through the stuff they got to do. Men, we have our own battles, our own wars. But I couldn't imagine, being in a situation where I'm being forced to compete against someone that has a clear competitive edge against me. It's the good Lord made us this way. It ain't like too much argument us people down here can make. I've always kind of conceded to the point where these people wanted to really argue. I'm not the person you want to argue with. You got to argue with God. I didn't create myself or create men and women. You know what I mean? The whole concept. And if you don't get into the religious, that's your thing. You still got to take up that argument with whoever you think is the higher power is. So at the end of the day, it's just so alarming to me that this thing has become commonplace in the world, and there's actually women that defend these trans athletes competing against other women. That's the saddest part of it all, because outside of these protesters and acknowledging these protesters and all that, what I'm seeing is a bunch of people on the internet. I see a bunch of people, but it's a bunch of women talking down on these volleyball players because they don't want to compete against a man, And I've also, over these 2.5 years, looking into this situation, building my own sports journalist platform, I've definitely looked into this situation, and it's heartbreaking what you see when you come across these clips of women, accepting the challenge of competing against a trans man, a trans athlete. But what you see is heartbreaking because these trans athletes, with their competitive edge, destroy these poor souls, these women, man. There was one that's making me kind of choke up right now, where a young lady was competing in the UFC. I think it was MMA or something like that. And the trans athlete was beating her so bad that that in her interview after the fight, she could hardly put two words together. So and I don't want to mingle with YouTube and whatever the verbiage and all that. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm trying to be fair as well to the trans athlete because, all right, you identify as a woman, but again, biology still plays. And in the pandemic, the number one thing that everybody was telling me was follow the science. So is anatomy not science anymore? Are hormones not science anymore? All that chromosomes not science anymore. So it's the point of the matter that when these folks they get upset with you, 4 years ago they was telling us to quote unquote follow the science, and now it's like, all right, all right, I'm gonna take you up on your advice. You know what I mean? If never before, right now, I'm going to follow the science and ask that we keep the competitive nature of both sexes fair, square, and not too much overlap. Again, unless it's some kind of intramural league or co-sex league, then I can get with that. But this whole, you got I forget how many volleyball players at a time. So you got 7 on one side, 7 women on one side, and then you got 6 women and 1 man on one side. Nah, that's crazy work to me. But that's just my thoughts on this situation. Kudos to the Boise State volleyball ladies team. Hopefully, in the near future, I can score some interviews with the Boise State athletic team as I am out here in Idaho again, very much so loving it, enjoying this whole nature thing. I just wanted to try something different. I lived in the city of Chicago, big, beautiful, vibrant. I lived in the country of Texas, out in the sticks. Learned how to put some bonfires together, learn how to hunt, fish, all that good stuff. And, when I was deciding where I wanted to go next, I said, I want to see what the mountains is like. I want to taste the mountains. So that's how I landed in Idaho completely. No other logic about it. Just wanted to try something new. But again, I'm enjoying it. I love it. And I can appreciate the Boise State, not just the college, what they produce as far as athletics go. That blue field is hella weird. I can't wait to see. I've always seen it on TV and seen it, pictures of it, but I can't wait to go to a game and see it for myself. But just kudos to the volleyball team, man, for standing on something and standing in their morals. I can appreciate that more than anything, whether I agree with you or not. I can appreciate somebody that has a belief system and they stand on it. That's the hill they want to die on. That's cool, but they definitely have my support as I want my daughters to be athletically inclined. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this and I mean this for everyone under the sound of my voice. When my daughters get into the competitive realms of sports, and if the situation pops up where they have to compete against a boy or something like that, just know, Daddy popping out too. All right, I'm on the volleyball. I'm out here, coach. I'm out here because at that point, fair is square. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I'm advocating even more than just keeping the sports, pure. I'm advocating for fairness. So all right, cool. Y'all got a boy on y'all team. Hey, I've been a boy my whole life. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And for the sake of this competition, if I gotta identify as a woman, all right, let's get it. I'm a woman in the next 30 minutes. Y'all not finna do my daughters dirty. Or we pulling a Boise State volleyball's ladies move. We out of here. You know what I mean? Y'all can have this. I want no part of that. I don't want to be associated with that. Even if that's what these people want to do or what they would agree with, that's not what I want to be associated with. So, but again, my daughter's out there on the basketball court and I see a little boy, just know Daddy pulling out. Hey, I always keep some Curries or some bronze in the trunk just in case, I got a hoop on the fly. Some young bucks talking crazy. Yeah, I'm always active. I'm always ready. So if that's the case, it's going to be the same situation is, and I don't want to hear no controversy about it. So that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to hear what y'all got to say about these kind of topics, especially this kind of topic. Y'all know, again, I don't really like getting involved in the political realm of things because it gets very divisive, very messy in that world, and I like the sweet comfort of unification that sports provides, outside of the trolls, of course, but typically sports fans, we get into sports because we like unity. We love, coming together for a common goal, on a positive note. So just leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's chop it up. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.